Hi, this is Dr. Boyce Watkins from YourBlackWorld.com. Anybody who follows anything that we do at Your Black World, you know that one of the people that I have a tremendous amount of respect for is Ed Gordon. Ed and I, we work together on his extraordinary radio show, and he also he does a lot of other things as well. And I wanted to bring Ed in. It's kind of odd because normally he's interviewing me, and he's the real professional. But this time I wanted to interview him because he has a new show coming out called Conversations with Ed Gordon. And I wanted him to have a chance to talk about the show and also just talk about some of the things that he's done through his extraordinary career. So I have Ed on the line. How you doing today, Ed?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. It's a good Sunday morning, so nice to relax. And so, man, I want to ask you, so tell me about this show and, you know, where did it come from? You mentioned it to me last week, and you have so many things in the works. I didn't even know anything about it. So tell me all about the show.
Well, really, the show has been out there for years and years and years. I mean, for years I did Conversations with Ed Gordon on BET, and it's really kind of where I made my mark with exclusive interviews over the years. And so as the world is changing, I think many of us in the media are trying to take a page, if you will, from Oprah and Steve Harvey and Tyler Perry and start to do your own and own your own. And so to a great degree, that's what I decided to do with Conversations. And so we took it out to see if anybody would be interested in syndicating the program, and I'm excited to say that we're on our first go-round for the first specials, their quarterly specials, in 50 markets already. And so we're very excited about that, and it kicks off, as a matter of fact, the first airings start today in many of the larger cities in New York and Chicago and Philly and Washington, D.C. So we're real excited, and I was very pleased with the guest lineup. You know, when people say, well, what's the show look like? I always say, well, think of a Barbara Walters special. It's an hour. We've got 3 guests, and my goal was to get somebody who's red hot, somebody who's iconic, and somebody our community loves. And I think we hit the mark on the first special with comedian Kevin Hart and Whoopi Goldberg and the singer Kim. So we're real excited about it.
Wow. So these are all the guests that are going to be on the first episode of the special? Is that correct?
That's the first show, the first special. It's an hour. We talked to Kim about his extraordinary life. You know, he's had a great career, but his life makes his career to some degree pale in comparison. He was homeless for a time, drug addicted, alcoholic, had been sexually abused as a child, which he talks about. And we went back, both of us are from Detroit. We went to the Salvation Army in Detroit, where it was one of the places that he found sobriety. And he talks about literally living in back of that building on the banks of the Detroit River. And we did the interview there in the Salvation Army and took him back for the first time to one of the residence rooms where he stayed. And it was amazing, and you'll see it. It's amazing to see his reaction and everything that rushes back to him, and he's eloquent in talking about his life and all of the things that he's been through, and talks about not, even if he had a chance, wanting to change a thing that has happened to him. And then, of course, there's Whoopi Goldberg, who's brash and always in your face, and nothing changed during our interview. And, you know, I'm always amazed at people who've been around for as long as she has, and I asked whether she viewed herself as iconic, and she said no, and I don't think it was just modesty. I don't think she sees that. But in doing the research for the special, I had forgotten how much Whoopi Goldberg had done and what a groundbreaking actress and comedian she's been. And the other thing that we talked about, quite frankly, is her kind of up-and-down relationship with Black America. You know, sometimes Black America has embraced and loved Whoopi Goldberg. Sometimes I think she's been misunderstood. Sometimes Black America just flat out didn't particularly care for the things she said or did, and she confronts that head on. And she talked about really, literally, no joke, wanting to be an ambassador for the United States. And so she's really upfront. And then there's Kevin Hart, who has to be one of the hottest cats in entertainment today. And we talk about his work ethic, which is top-notch. He talks about learning that from his mom. He talks about his father's drug addiction and how he still loves his father in spite of, his dad not being around. He talks about the latest controversy about the tweet he had, the joke he had about skin color and darker women having, worse credit than light-skinned women, and how the heat he took from that. And he tells a funny story. I told him that I knew he used to be a salesman, shoe salesman, and Jamie Foxx used to be one. And so I told him Jamie had told me a couple of tricks that he used to sell shoes, and he goes into this 2-minute monologue about why he's a better shoe salesman than Jamie. It's hilarious. So we're real pleased with it, man.
Now, it's interesting. I mean, when you talk about Kim, you were speaking about sobriety. That's kind of an issue for Kevin right now, right? I mean, do you guys hit on the latest controversy with the whole DUI situation?
We actually had done the interview about a week before the DUI happened. So we didn't get a chance to talk to him about that, but we certainly give people a glimpse at who Kevin Hart is and the idea that here's this funny guy, but there's a period. And what I've really been blessed with throughout my career, Boyce, is to get people to sit with me and talk in a different way than they talk to most people. And while Kevin is funny throughout this interview, we talk about the money he made during this last tour, his stand-up tour, which the movie comes out in July. But he made upwards to $35-40 million on this tour alone. And just his reaction when we talk about that is so genuine. He can't help but get a smile, and he talks about how crazy it is, and he talks about all of this is so amazing to him. So I didn't get a chance, obviously, to talk about the DUI because it hadn't happened, but I do think what you will see is an entirely different Kevin Hart than we're used to. You'll certainly see the funny side, but you see a man who is building a career and how and why he wants to be on that list of the greatest comedians of all time.
Wow. Well, that's extraordinary, man. Now, before we close out, I want to give you a chance to talk about the show you and I work on as well, Weekend with Ed Gordon. You and I met you when you interviewed me at BET. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was a great moment for me because you also, in my mind, are incredibly iconic, and I think for a lot of people listening, they've seen you throughout the years and have so much respect for your work. And I was really impressed with your professionalism as an interviewer. You have that consistency, that Michael Jordan, like, get down to business, get it done the right way kind of approach to everything you do. And your radio show, I think it seems the success of that show has been a reflection of that. Now, where is the show Weekend with Ed Gordon in terms of its growth, and what are your plans for the future?
Well, I appreciate the compliments, but you also know that, and it's so funny to hear people talk of me and about me because I am, I remind myself of that commercial, I just play that cat on TV. Because everybody thinks I'm very serious. I was 2 votes away from class clown in my high school. So, the guy I play on TV isn't always the guy that represents the real Ed Gordon. But I tell people, in the business I've been in, there's a certain level of respect that is assumed to journalists and is not often granted to African-American journalists. And so, you have to be about your business when you come in, particularly if you're going to stand toe-to-toe with other folks in the business. So the radio show has given us, though, an opportunity to show the other side of Ed Gordon, too. While your segment talks about things in the news or things that, as I say, if you're talking about it, we're talking about it. We get down to sometimes the sublime and sometimes the ridiculous, and we have fun with it every week, and everybody jumps on. And let me give it now, our Facebook page, and leaves their thoughts at Weekend with Ed Gordon on Facebook, and my Twitter, which I've just started. I'm trying to get used to that, is Ed or at Ed L. Gordon. But the radio program is in Detroit on MXD 92.3 Sundays from noon to 2, and you can also go on to iHeartRadio if you have the app during that time and find us on WMXD is the station. We're in D.C. From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. There's an hour version and a 2-hour version. D.C. takes the hour version on Saturday mornings. But then we're on Sirius Radio, the 2-hour version, Sunday nights from 9 to 11, channel 141. We also have, over the last couple of weeks, in I think 7 or 8 cities, and we just got word that in about a week or two in about 5 other cities, I do a 1-minute commentary on stations across the country, and that's growing. And our hope is to grow the weekend show, Weekend with Ed Gordon, which you're a part of. I have found in cracking the code for syndication for radio and television far more difficult than I ever imagined, but slowly but surely we're starting to make our way. But for people that don't get it in their cities and don't have the iHeart app or Sirius, we're excited to say we just launched our new website, edgordon.net. And if you go to edgordon.net and click on the Weekend with Ed Gordon icon, every week you'll be able to hear the show online there. And so that's real exciting. We just started that. So it's a real opportunity for people who don't get it in their cities to hear it. And we have a segment called Star Story, which people love. It's kind of like Unsung, where we tell the backstory of people and they talk about their lives and you hear their music, and that runs about 20-some-odd minutes. We had George Duke on last week. We have a great segment called That's My Jam, where people tell us their jam from back in the day, and Greg Mathis was on this week, but we've had everybody literally from Condoleezza Rice on telling us their jam. So it's real exciting, and I'm proud of the program.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you very much for your time, Ed. It's a pleasure, always a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, brother, man, ain't nothing but a phone call. I tell you that all the time.
Well, I really appreciate that, brother. Everybody, this is Ed Gordon. In my opinion, one of the great black journalists of all time, probably the best black journalist in the country, if you ask me, and also a person that I'm proud to call my friend. So I hope you'll check out his new show, Conversations with Ed Gordon, which comes on NBC affiliates in 50 different markets. Also, we will keep you posted on Your Black World in terms of what Ed is up to. So thank you all for listening, and God bless you. And until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.